Hey everybody, my name is MetalMusicMan.
And I am Professor Lex.
And this is episode 11.
11.
Man, I feel like every time it's always a question. Like we're just like, are we still doing it?
It's a combination of like being really excited that we got that high and not being sure how high we got.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Like really 11?
It's a
like,
thing,
man.
Oh
shit.
So yeah, we're gonna talk about some stuff today. Today is the I guess we'll call it the anniversary since it's no longer happening of Combo Breaker. Combo Breaker is a really cool, great, fantastic tournament that I went to one time ever with Lex.
Okay, well, I've only been there one time with you, but I've been there, I think, like 3 times, maybe 4. I'll have to count the shirts.
Yeah, I've been to, I think, like some crazy fucking shit, like 8 Evos, but I had never been to a Combo Breaker until you were like, Will, you have to go to Combo Breaker.
Yeah.
And then we hung out with Pharaoh, and Pharaoh and I last night got super drunk playing World of Warcraft, and I was up till 2 o'clock in the morning talking about life in the universe, and it was it was actually a pretty fucking fantastic evening. So yeah, thanks to Combo Breaker. What 2017 2018 was it 2019?
19. It's got to be 19 because it's currently 2020, and we went last year, but are not there now.
God, that feels like
just last year. It was a year ago.
That feels like so much more.
I'm not trying to.
That feels like years ago. That feels like so long ago.
Yeah, no.
So yeah, I had never been to a Combo Breaker. But anyway, so yeah, the Lex's genius idea for this podcast is we're going to talk about. hang on, let me put my beer down. And get into.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna do my best Neil deGrasse Tyson here. Tournament memories. There you go. So tournament memories is that's the theme for this evening. We're going to talk about some tournaments and memories of those tournaments. So yeah. Combo Breaker 2018 was the shit. Pharaoh's a cool person. You're a cool person. Mike Webb was there.
Thank you. He was there at the end, at the tail end.
Yeah, he was kind of on and off. I miss Mike Webb. I had a. How do you say that?
Dream.
I had a dream about Mike Webb recently.
Hell yeah.
I forget. I'm trying to I don't even remember what it was. I just know I had a dream about him, and that just came into my brain. I'm like, what the fuck? I think it was about. I feel like Mike Webb has very blue eyes, and I feel like the dream.
Blue eyes.
I feel like the dream was something about his eyes and talking to him. And anyway, it wasn't gay. But
no, it's okay. It's all right.
Totally no homo, bro. Totally
it's
no
normal.
homo. Totally respect you. No, it was something. I feel like there was something in it. It was some magic. Because 90% of the time anymore, when I have a dream, my cat dies horribly. I had a dream the other night that my cat. There was it was the apocalypse of the end. I feel like these might have been the same dream. Oh man.
Oh no.
Mike Webb might have been. Yeah.
Mike Webb killed your cat?
Yeah. No. Mike Webb was okay. Yeah. This is what it was. So it's the apocalypse, end of the world, and my cat, is with me, and buildings are crumbling, meteors are falling. Sure. I don't even remember why. It was just fucking. There were definitely zombies. There were definitely zombies. Okay. There were definitely zombies too. It was fucking everything. Proper Christian apocalypse, right? Hell zombie demon.
And the dead shall rise.
Yeah.
Walk amongst the living. Yeah.
And I was in a car with a bunch of people. I don't remember who was in the car, but I wasn't driving. And my cat was with me, and she was clinging on to me, and I was just fucking Harper, you're gonna kill some zombies because you're a fucking crazy piece of shit, and you're gonna slash some zombies, but also don't die. You're a very small cat. And we're trying to run, and then she got lost, and some shit happened, and it was crazy. And I was my cat, fuck. And it was we gotta go. There's zombies. I'm fuck. And then I thought my cat was dead. And then she wasn't dead. And we went to a hospital.
I love the twist. Yeah.
We went to a hospital. And this guy came out of the hospital. And it was Mike Webb. And he was a piercing blue-eyed nurse.
Blue eyes, yeah.
He was a piercing blue-eyed
nurse.
Yeah, he was the nurse at the hospital.
Okay.
And he came out. And we were we need help. People are injured. My cat's dead. And he was I have this cat. And he had my cat. And I was Mike Webb, you saved my cat. And then she had this is where my dream brain just gets absurd and ridiculous. She had a blood vessel coming out of her butt that connected to a brain poop. It was a brain, but also poop. And I was oh, my cat's so fucked up. Her brain poop came out of her butt. How do you recover? How do you recover from the brain poop?
Truly, I have no idea. How does one recover from that?
Coming out of your butt. And I was just oh no. But Mike Webb was no. I I am cat doctor. Everything is, I am cat doctor, nurse man. Everything's fine. I was like, Mike Webb, you son of a bitch. I love you. Thank you for saving my cat. And then, and then an earthquake. And then
there's an earthquake.
And then an earthquake occurred. And he was like, the earthquake's crazy. I gotta like save people. I'm just gonna set your cat down real quick and go save this guy. And then he set her down and the earth opened up and my cat fell into the earth. And I remember in my dream, I was so like, I was just crying. I was so sad for like one millisecond because I was like, oh my God, my cat actually died now. She fell into the earth underneath the hospital that crumbled. But then also after that, I was immediately just like, are you fucking kidding me? I went through all this where I'd already thought she was dead, and then I find her, and her brain poop is coming out of her butt attached to a blood vessel.
But Mike Webb was there.
And Mike Webb's there, and he's going to save her. And then she just falls into a hole, and I was like, this is ridiculous. And anyway, I eventually woke up because I was like, this is so ridiculous.
Hold on.
No one is that unlucky.
We have jumped the shark here.
That's ridiculous. Anyway.
Whoa now.
Anyway, tournament memories.
Tournament memories, which happened in real life, most of them, I assume. And relatively few zombie apocalypses.
Yeah. Probably no cat murders.
Probably.
So are we? Where are we going? Are we going chronologically?
Yeah, I do want to talk about my first one. You always remember your first time, right?
Oh, so like shit. I don't know if I do. I'll have to think.
Man, I hope so. Okay, so I'm drawing a clear distinction here because I actually went to a couple of aerial raves back in the day, and I went to a couple of tournaments in Springfield. I guess the first one I went to in Springfield is like my first proper tournament. It was a Blaze Blue tournament. It was a lot of fun. There were like 8 of us there. It's an anime fighting game. It was really bad. Calamity Trigger was poorly balanced. So I played Tager, and he had several like 9-1 matchups. Yeah. So it was fun though.
Tager is a grappler.
He is, yes. And he's got magnet hands, which makes grabbing people really easy because then you don't have to worry about them running away. But he's so bad. Well, he was bad. I think he's top tier now. 12 balance patches later. Arc Systems works. Anyway, the first major that I went to, that's the distinction. The first time I traveled out of town for a tournament, I went to Seasons Beatings Ascension.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
I think it was Ascension and then Redemption, or what? I guess it's not important. I went to a Seasons Beatings. It was at Momo's. This was like
what state was that in?
9 years ago. Ohio.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was me and Guilty, and we drove like 8 hours or however long it takes to get there.
God damn.
And it was or at the time she didn't have a driver's license.
Yep.
So it was me behind the wheel.
For a long time.
I don't know if she has.
I think she might still not, to be honest with
you.
Yeah,
right. That's what I was thinking. But we drove out there, and like the first 5 minutes I was there, I was like, I am home. This is where I was meant to be. It was the first, because I'd been to locals and stuff, but I'd never been out to a major and seen like that many people crammed into a venue, everybody trying to play Marvel and Street Fighter and talking and shit. And like I walked in.
What year is this again?
22. Oh shit. Or like 2012-ish?
That late.
2011,
okay.
2012?
That late. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd have to look it up. But so I went, everyone was there. I saw like the time, the exact moment I knew I had made it. I was like walking in, and I saw Third Strike setups to my left, and I saw Fubar Duck playing, and I was like, yeah, I'm here. I made it. And I had a blast. I think we went pretty immediately into our pools, like we had just made it, and then it was running on tournament standard time, so like we really just made it.
Damn.
Yeah, no, but it was a lot of fun. I had never, like, fighting game celebrities are new to me, or were at the time new to me, because I'm not famous like you. I only know people. And so it was the end of the first day.
We'll touch on that later. That'll be
it was the end of the first day, and we were walking back to the car so that I could drive to the hotel, to the hotel where we were staying. And on the way out, I was like, "Holy shit, it's Mike Ross!" And Guilty was like, "Yeah."
Oh, I do know this story. I do know this story. Okay.
And I was like, he's so cool because he's like the reason I picked up Honda. He's watching him play in the Super Battle Opera qualifiers like inspired me, and I was like, he's just the neatest, and like that was it. That's all I needed. I saw him from like a block away, and I was like, I saw him on my way to my car. I'm so happy I can just die or whatever. And I went to my car, and Guilty was like, "Hey, Mike Ross," and I was like, "Oh no, oh no," because they say never meet your heroes because they're always underwhelming or disappointing or like dicks or whatever.
I'll tell you what though, but he's actually realer in real life, even
he's
in
just
a good way.
So nice.
In a
yeah,
good
he
way.
Came over.
He's a real nice dude. Yeah,
he's just the coolest. And he was like, "Hey, Guilty, how have you been? Still working on that doll sim?" And I was like, "Holy shit, he knows her." And then
she's always
been
good at networking.
Yeah. And then he was like, "So, like, are you here for Street Fighter?" And I was like, "A little bit of Street Fighter and a little bit of Marvel." And he's like, "Oh, how'd you do?" "I made it out of my pool, but I didn't deserve it." And I was just so touched that he would take the time. And I was like, "I really have to go, though, before I hyperventilate or something." I didn't say that out loud, but I was thinking
Lex, you adorable fangirl.
Well, it wasn't fair of her to call him over like that and make me meet my hero.
Well, that's textbook Guilty. I met this is not my first tournament experience, but while we're on the subject of Mike Ross, I met at the first Evo I went to with my ex and my friend Kevin. I met that was 2009 was the first Evo I went to. I think 2000 I think it was 2009.
Damn, dude, you're old. Like
11
years ago.
I am like, we talked about this on the other podcast, how we're both like shocked that I am like quote unquote more OG than you are, which I never would have known or expected. I kind of am. I'm not though too, right? Because I go different. I go different things. Yeah.
Yeah, a different route.
I think it was 09. What was the year Mike Ross got top 8?
I'm gonna say 09 because 07
it was either 09 or 10, but I think I skipped 10 and went back at 11. I think.
The one where he fought Adon, right?
Yeah,
where he lost to Gamerby.
Yeah.
So that was the year that Super came out. I think that was 2010.
2010. Okay, so not 09, 2010. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I just looked it up. Okay. Yep. So 2010 was my first Evo. And I spent, I'm not even kidding you, I probably spent like 2 hours total talking to Mike Ross's dad. Like,
is he nice?
He's so fucking nice. He was there. I didn't understand. We had that podcast where you talked about how your dad played a fighting game with you, and I just don't know what that even means. I mean, I love my dad. I think I have a better dad than like 90% of the population in like most ways. But he just doesn't give a shit about fighting games. He doesn't give a shit about video games. He knows I do. He gets it in his way, but he just doesn't.
He doesn't get it in your way.
He just doesn't. Well, he gets it indirectly, I guess. I mean, he understands. Yeah. He understands what it is, and I think the general surface level of why I like it, and that it's equatable to sports or whatever other thing. But yeah, he doesn't give a fuck. He's my dad's 72. Like my dad doesn't know fucking he doesn't know.
He doesn't know Mike Ross.
He doesn't know anything about video games. He doesn't know anything. So Mike Ross's dad was there, and he was so like he didn't know about the game, but he was so interested in the fact that Mike Ross was there, that Mike Ross was doing well, and that people like loved his kid. It was the most wholesome thing I've ever experienced. I talked to him for so long, and he was like, "Oh, what's happening now?" And we were like explaining to him what was happening in the game, and he was like, "Oh yeah." And we were like, "Yeah, Mike Ross's." It was like me and my ex and my friend Kevin were sitting there talking to Mike Ross's dad
while he was getting into top 8, while he was contending with Gamerby and shit.
Yes, wow. It was amazing. Like he was just chilling, and we were just chatting with him. It was fucking awesome. He was such a fucking nice dude. Like he was so cool, and like we didn't really talk to Mike that much. Mike did get a picture with my friend Kevin because my friend Kevin had one of the early rung like unique limited edition cross counter shirts. And Mike Ross saw him in the crowd and like pointed at him and was like, "We're getting a picture right now." Like Mike Ross demanded a picture with my friend Kevin.
He recognized that he was an OG.
Yeah. And so that tournament was great. I taught Kevin how to do hit confirms. He played in Bison and hit. Kevin has, I don't know if we've ever talked about this on stream. Kevin has extremely good natural, fundamental lame play.
Neat. Most people don't have that.
Yeah, he cannot combo to save his life.
Sure.
But he is actually like there were times even when I was pretty good at Street Fighter, it wouldn't be with certain characters, but with like Oni specifically, where he would fight me like Oni versus Bison, not even really playing the game, and he would literally beat me with stand roundhouse and random like kick scissor. And I just couldn't.
You couldn't play.
You got outflipped. Like not like all the time, but like I think he beat me. I want to say he beat me in like a random on stream 1st to 10 that I didn't take that seriously. But at
still, the same time, you
I was
literally
like,
wrote the book.
I was like going ham on Street Fighter, and he's just like, I'm Kevin. I know exactly what you're gonna do because you're Will, and I play footsies. So anyway, I taught my friend Kevin how to do like hit confirms. I taught him how to do like jab, 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 light into scissor, and he like didn't think he could do it. And then he went into his pools. He didn't quite make it out of pools. He got pretty close, but he went into pools and he fought this dude. And I had just taught him that morning because I was like all the way up to it. I was like, Kevin, practice this shit with me. And he's like, I'm Kevin. I'm weird. I don't give a fuck. I'm like, all right, whatever. But that morning I was like, Kevin, we're going to sit down in the hotel room. We're going to practice this shit. So I practiced this shit with him. And he fights this dude. And this dude in his pool that he ends up beating him. He's like, oh my God, you're so good at hit confirming. How do you do that? He's like, I literally.
Oh no, he told him?
He was like,
what a bastard.
Well, Kevin is a bastard.
God damn.
If you ever meet Kevin, you'll understand how apt that is. But so yeah, that was a great tournament. Micross was there. That's me piggybacking off of your Micross memory.
No, you're good. You're good. No, it's a great memory.
So that was my first big Street Fighter tournament. I was still not really quite part of the STL scene. I think. Were you there, or did I see you at a later Evo? Because there was that one Evo where I randomly. That was a different one. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh God, 5 years. God.
Yeah, I've only been to one.
It blows my mind sometimes how long it. Like I always thought you were like a cool person, but I had my weird stiff arm of the community. Well, I thought you might have been a piece of shit. We've talked about that on I think the last.
You thought I was a piece of shit?
No, I didn't think you were, but I thought you might be, and I might not know.
I don't remember that.
This is not a dredge on you or a thing that I thought specifically about you. No. I don't give a fuck even if it was. But my point is that it isn't. It was that we talked about the toxicity of the STL community.
Yeah, it's quite toxic.
I did not know. I had, even for myself, as much as I already stiff arm humans in general, like extra stiff arm measures of like, I don't know who the fuck I want to let in and speak to.
Okay.
Because shit's weird in this fucking community.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's weird to me that it took me that long to like realize you weren't, a big tardbard. But
as far as I remember, the first interaction proper that we had, because I think I saw you playing at Dano's with your ex and didn't talk to you and just like left that night.
She did come every now and then. Yeah.
Yeah. Because no one else would play Oni and have a girlfriend that I can think of.
Is that my greatest achievement?
Well, I mean,
being an Oni main with a girlfriend. Okay, sorry.
Well, and you could do Oni combo, but anyway,
sure.
The first proper interaction that we had was when you beat me, and then afterwards I was like, "Hey, can you teach me how to never lose to you again?" And you said yes.
And then you did. You're a bastard.
And then no. But, sorry.
What was that? That was probably like 2013 by that point, right? Or maybe a little earlier.
It had to be after AE 2012 because
2012, 2013
was out
somewhere around there. Yeah. Well, no, he wasn't out in 2012. He was out in AE. So that could have been 2011.
Yeah.
But I don't think I played. I did not play. I wanted to, but he was just. We've talked about this before, so I don't want to dwell. But he was just fundamentally broken and didn't work, and so I didn't. But come 2012, I was like, we can, we can work with this.
Oni can get it.
Yeah. Anyway, that was my first big Street Fighter-y proper FGC thing. Was definitely I never went to a major like you did. I just went to Evo. My ex was like, Vegas is cool and food's good, and I was like, okay, fuck it. There's a tournament there. It was. I love Vegas. So I have to say that Vegas in general does have a special place in my heart. And the food, the culture. I love Vegas. I really do.
Even I feel, for me, because I've only been to Evo once, I feel like that's part of Evo, the Vegas culture intertwined with the tournament culture and stuff.
It can't be somewhere else.
It can't. No. And Combo Breaker is the best tournament series to go to. If you're going to go to one tournament, though,
well, it's cheaper.
You might wind up going to Evo.
But Evo, Evo is different.
It's like going to Mecca. Like you kind of have to go there once because that's the place.
Evo. There's nothing like Evo. There's nothing like it.
Combo Breaker is a better tournament, but Evo is just like magic.
Evo's magic. It's better overall. If you're just talking about the fighting game stuff, Combo Breaker is better. I agree with that.
Definitely, 100%.
I agree with that. But yeah, Evo is a superb fighting game tournament in Vegas.
It is the next best thing.
Crazy food and drink and whatever the fuck you want to do and people, and it's I love it. Anyway,
sorry,
that was not my first thing. So my first thing, I was trying to think about this while you were talking.
Sure.
I don't know if I remember specifically my first tournament. I am fairly certain it was either Cahokia or Joker's basement. So Joker is a dude who lives in Iowa, who we've talked about, I think, on this stream. You know, he has a basement, and he just would invite dudes over, and there'd be, you know, he lived in a house that a lot of other people lived in, and it was this whole crazy thing where you got there and you were like, Joker Smash, and they were just like, like they vaguely knew what you were talking about, you know, and then you're like, Joker, is that your dad? He's like, oh no, that's just some guy that lives here. And you're like, oh, I don't understand.
It's just a guy.
I'm so white, I don't understand what the situation is.
Is Joker not white?
Joker's very Mexican.
Oh, okay.
We'll leave it at that. So it was a situation I was not, as a middle class white person, was not aware of. I was not aware of houses that lots of people lived in.
Never heard of apartments before, yeah.
No, it was like one house that a bunch of people lived in. Like, it was just wasn't. Yeah. I mean, I probably the point of this story is for me to sound like an idiot. So if you're thinking I'm digging myself a grave, I mean, that's kind of the charm.
I'm trying to help you. Yeah.
No, don't, because it was a very it was a confusing thing for me. I mean, I think so. So we'll talk about Cahokia too, but it was one of those two. So I knew everyone went to Joker's, but outside of generic, lower class, middle white suburbia, I had not really experienced anything. And this is, I think, what is magical about the fighting game community. I think everybody agrees with the fighting game community is so diverse and both culturally, ethnically, socioeconomically. And I think for a lot of people like myself, it is kind of like it's easy. We had, like my high school was rural cowboy town, buttfuck Egypt, America, where, there were 12 black people that went to my high school out of fucking, 300 and some odd kids at this public school. And, I didn't grow up with any, austere like racism or anything like that, but you just aren't exposed to different shit. You mostly see people who are like you. Dude, my relatives all like fucking, hunting and fishing and fucking cowboy, fucking everything. I'm like
fucking cowboys. Yeah.
Fucking cowboys. Yeah, dude, Brokeback Mountain. But I'm like, but I'm like very black sheep for my family, right? Like I'm like a weird nerd and nobody knows what the fuck that's about. And it's weird that I don't, do all those things. So
you're not out there killing a bear with a pocket knife. Yeah.
Yeah. So going to that and kind of getting into an environment that was socioeconomically different, racially more diverse, just more everything. Because even my local scene wasn't quite that. I mean, we had diversity in my local scene, and I hosted, but it wasn't. I was hosting. I wasn't going to other people's houses or anything. So it was it was like a new, different thing. And so the reason, like I said, I'm bringing this up is like, A, it was just a great tournament. It was fantastic. But B, I think that is sort of it's like the untold magic wonderfulness of fighting games, which is that nobody gives a fuck whether you're rich or poor or black or white or whatever the fuck. Nobody cares. They just care. Yeah. There is a magic in that. And like, you could even be like, not that I was, but you could be, worse off in terms of your isolation than me. You could even be maybe a racist, homophobic, whatever the fuck, who knows, right? But then if you decide you want to play fighting games and you go to a tournament and there's like a fucking trans gay black person that does sick combos, your brain,
you're gonna be like,
your brain just goes, oh man, there's some like There is some like
visceral,
visceral, innate, like fuck all of the shit you've been taught. That
was sick.
Is that Gabe Black Furry is doing some fucking combos, and I'll be goddamned if you didn't just conquer racism. Like it is like that.
You're right. Yeah, because
so, that's why to me Joker's like tournaments really stick, because I just remember thinking my first thought like pulling up is like, oh man, this is shady.
I'm out of my element.
What's going on? Am I going to get murdered? And then you're just like, no, we're going to go to the basement and have a fucking baller Smash tournament. By the way, like, here's all this other shit you don't know about, but you're not weird about it because you're playing Smash Brothers.
Yeah, you're too busy doing your combos.
So that is like a core memory for me. Like, I think I was probably 21 at the time. Like, sure. I think this probably 2008, 2009.
22 years ago. Pardon me.
No,
12 years ago. I almost made you an 8-year-old. I'm sorry. That was cruel of me.
So that is a tournament. I feel like you were trying to get a word in, so I'm gonna let you do that.
Okay. So obviously I'm ethnically diverse myself.
You are a member of the twosome. What was your team's name with Psycho Shot?
With Psycho Shot. Team Mixed Kids.
Team Mixed Kids.
Team Mixed Kids. Yeah. From a million years ago. So like I didn't have that experience the same way that you did. But like, I'd gone to a couple of Springfield tournaments. Springfield is overwhelmingly white.
Yeah, it is.
It's just a horrible place to be. Not that that's correlated to the whiteness. But like, if you are of color, the whiteness is maybe a little bit of a turn off, because they're like adamantly white. They do not like of color. But
it's weird. I never really got that vibe while I was in Springfield. I wonder why that is. That's so weird. I never had that. That's so weird that you had such a different experience than I did.
So fuck Springfield, Missouri, and all of the racist fucks that live there. But the people that I went to Kansas City with from Springfield, very nice people. Drunk Missile, Stang. I think those were the only two people in the car. I think Anil was there. None of these people. I'm like, I haven't talked to these people in
years.
10 years or whatever. Shit. Yeah. But we all got in the car and we went to Max Out, right? Which is a minor.
I've been to a Max Out.
Yes. I don't think you were at this one.
No, I've only been to one, and it was a little bit later than, I think it was after my first Evo, but maybe it was before. That's actually on my list, so I'll get to it. Yeah,
okay. Anyway. But like, I got there and like my first round was, fuck it. The rounds don't matter. I ultimately would get my ass beat.
I'm going to say this is Kansas City for our viewers.
Kansas City,
Kansas City, Missouri. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
They used to have. Yeah. Do they still have Max Outs?
I don't know.
I know that they did for a while. It was a great tournament series. They had it at like a pizza bar place or whatever.
Yeah, they had it at a pizza place. It was a really great venue. Yeah.
Yeah. Loved it. Mm-hmm. And when I got there, they were like, "Hey, Sang Hang, and hey, Anil, hey, Drunk Missile, who is this new guy?" And I was like, "Hey, I'm Alex," because that's what I was trained to say from birth. But J-Spot, who was doing the greeting, he's like the godfather of KC, or one of. He says, "Nah, man." He says, "Nah, man. We don't use slave names here. What's your tag? What's your handle?" And I was like, "Oh God, it's me. He doesn't care who I am. He cares who I project myself to be." I was like, "I'm Professor Lex," and he's like, "Yeah, you are."
Oh,
and then he would beat me with El Fuerte. Yeah, but it was such an affirming moment, because like at that moment it didn't matter anything. We were just two dudes trying to play Street Fighter, and he beat my ass, and it was a great time. He had sick Fuerte combos.
You had a much more positive interaction with that man the first time you met him than I did.
No, did you have a negative interaction?
Not horrible. I don't want to oversell it, but it wasn't good. It was so that guy. it was whatever. That guy. He played Ryu. I don't know him as a Fuerte player. He played Ryu. White dude, glasses.
No,
not J-Spot. Who am I thinking of then? Shit.
John, I think is his name.
Yeah. Isn't he white with glasses and plays Ryu?
No.
Longish hair?
J-Spot's Hispanic.
Shit.
Yeah, no, you're thinking of a different guy. And he's really good at Blaze Blue, and I hate him. He's nice. I actually stayed at his place once.
I can't remember
when
his
I went
fucking
to Max
name.
with Guilty.
So I guess I've never met J-Spot then. I thought that guy was J-Spot. Who the
J-Spot's Hispanic.
I can't remember his name then. Anyway, okay, so we'll skip that. But that guy was vaguely addicted.
I think he goes by Axiom. I think that was his.
That might be it. I don't remember his name, but he played Ryu.
It is John Bonfolio.
Okay,
John Bonfolio, something like that.
Yeah, he wasn't like a total dick or anything. He was nice enough, but he's abrasive. I was playing friendlies with him at an Ogres tournament in STL. And this is before I had traveled to KC. And this is like right when I was starting to be, I guess, somewhat known on the internet, but I still hadn't really traveled or delved into the FGC. It was just me doing things online because as the lore goes, I had, quote unquote, online famousness before I even joined the STL fighting game community.
You were a celebrity before you joined the FGC.
Okay, well,
you were.
Okay, yeah, okay. So I played him in some friendlies. This other guy, John Axiom. And I beat him like pretty bad the first couple games, and then he kind of like figured out a pattern, and he was giving me some trouble, and he beat me. I don't know. We did some friendlies. He probably beat me. He probably beat me like He probably beat me like 4 out of 7. I don't know.
Okay.
But when he beat me, he was like, "Aren't you like a mod for this character on Shoryuken or something?" And I was just like, no, but I like do make videos about it. And he was just like, no, I just thought you'd be a lot better. And I was like, wow, okay.
Get fucked.
Fuck you. Like, I hadn't really played any good Fundy Ryus before at that time. And like, he just was a total douche nozzle to me. Just because he was a douche nozzle because I shit on him like 3 games and then he figured me out. So then he took that opportunity to try to make me feel bad about my existence. Right? So that was pretty lame. Anyway, every other interaction I had with him was pretty okay. But that was lame. I think that's an effect of. I hate it. I sound like such an asshole, but yeah, my celebrity. I was big on the internet, and I think people, thought that I deserved or didn't deserve or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Something
you didn't earn it. That's it. Let me be clear. You deserve it, but you didn't earn it.
I didn't earn it the way they earned it.
No, you didn't earn
their
it.
Oldness. Oh, I earned it.
No. You came in and you were good, and you were like, "This is my dick," and like, fantastic.
What I needed? You're saying I needed to be bad? I was bad. I was bad on the internet.
That's how you.
I was bad on the internet
when no one was looking.
Yeah. Fuck you. I showed up and was ready to play.
Woods, does it make a sound? Like
it does. Don't get me started on that because I hate that fucking question. Yes, it makes a sound. Fuck all of you who thinks it doesn't make a sound unless you define sound as the perception of sound. But sound is not defined as the perception of sound. Sound is defined as a fucking wave sequence, and someone doesn't need to perceive it in order for it to exist. No,
but you can't.
No, I told you not. All right, next topic. I hate this fucking question.
I've sent you a picture of the John guy on Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah, you can look at it and be like, "Oh yeah, that is him."
I bet it is that guy.
It is.
That's what I thought you were talking about.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the guy.
Yeah.
Yep. He had longer hair, but that's the guy. Yeah.
He's actually really nice. He does tend to get kind of salty when he plays.
Yeah, he was a salty bitch, I would describe him as. Yeah. It reminded me a lot of Mr. K, where the things I did that worked, he was angry that they weren't the way he said it should be.
Yeah, because he played a very
that's my entire existence, though. My existence is fuck your
rustic.
Life. Fuck your fuck your life. I'm going to do what I do.
Orthodox. He plays a very orthodox,
fundamental, standard, traditional, solid Ryu. Yeah, 100%.
Yes. And he's good.
Yep. No, I agree.
Yeah.
But people have this thing where they get offended if you don't.
Because you didn't earn it, Will.
Oh my God. All right. Anyway. All right.
You didn't. You deserve it. You're a great player. You're a better player than me.
Oh my God. No, Alex. So anyway, okay. So my other tournament will go.
Go back
to. So again, this was the Joker tournaments were the Brawl Days. I don't know that I made that clear. But one of the first ones I went to was just with some people, and then I ended up going to another one with my roommate at the time, and we did really well in doubles, which was fun. I think I mentioned that briefly in the past on this podcast, so I won't go over it. So those were great. The other one is Cahokia, Missouri, which one of our local sorry, I did say Cahokia, and that's wrong. It's Cahokia.
Cahokia, okay.
Which sounds like Cahokia Mounds, and every time you say Cahokia, people say, "Do you mean Cahokia Mounds?" Yeah. But it's not. It's Cahokia, which is a whole different thing. Like not even in the same place at all. There was this shitty church that like someone was vaguely affiliated with one of our local players named Andrew I think he used to live there, and then he moved to like either I think he moved to Mizzou and then would come to St. Louis or was in St. Louis, but like anyway, he had some connection to this place, and he was like, there's this shitty church we can rent out for a weekend and we'll all get really drunk and play Super Smash Brothers in this church. It was amazing.
And you couldn't withhold yourself from the irony of getting plastered in a church?
No, everybody went fucking ham. It was amazing. I mean, dude, it's the middle of nowhere. Nobody gives a fuck. There's no fucking cops anywhere. Everybody's fucking drinking at this tournament. It was crazy. I think that might be the first tournament I went to. I honestly don't remember the very first proper one, right? I remember lots of little local tournaments, but I don't remember that many like, quote unquote out of state ones. So that one was really fun. I have a core memory of being totally wasted with my friend David, who is Dankster Dave. If there are any old Brawl players listening to this at any point, that is, pardon me, Future Wrestler. Which is the best handle of all time that he tries to forget. It then was Future, and then when I convinced him to play Street Fighter 4 with me, he just became Dankster Dave.
Dankster Dave, and played Jury. Or no, wait, he didn't play Jury.
No, he played Ken mostly. Ken and Adon. He's like trying. I haven't talked to him in dude. It's probably been over 6 months since I last saw him.
That's Ben's brother, right?
Yes, yeah, Ben. Urban Chestnut Ben. Yep. Anyway, so I have this core memory of it being like 2:00 in the morning. The tournament day one is over. Everybody's fucking hammered. It's like Friday. Everybody's been, you've been playing friendlies. You've been fucking doing stupid drinking games and whatever. And I brought an air mattress, and we shared this air mattress in the basement of this church. Everyone just slept. I mean, this is like literally like 80 people in one room.
And everyone's like rotating, getting a nap in. Oh, okay.
No, they all fit. It was a pretty big venue, but it was like we're all just down there.
But they didn't all fit on the same mattress.
Yes, I brought my own mattress. Yeah, no, fuck no.
Yeah.
I am always looking for a place to sleep. Like if you try to take, this will come into the story later with more tournament things. If you take my place to sleep, I'm gonna fuck you up. I'm gonna fuck you up. At the end of the day, I need to know where I'm sleeping. I need to know it's in a secure space. If you take that from me, I will end you. So I had an air mattress,
I'm so glad that didn't come up between us.
You're an excellent roommate, so that's not a problem. So he ended up, I was like, well, I'm not going to take this whole queen size bed. That's like selfish in this situation. Someone who isn't an asshole can sleep in this bed, right? Someone can share it. So this is so ridiculous. So Dave is vaguely into, R&B, rap, whatever. I'm MetalMusicMan. I know nothing about any of this.
What?
And he's like, Will, we're really drunk and you have to listen to R. Kelly's epic saga Trapped in the Closet with me. And I'm just like, Dave, no, I just want to go to sleep. And he's like, Will, you have to take this headphone and you have to listen. And I'm just like so drunk. I'm like, fine, put this fucking headphone in my ear. And then we're just listening at 2:00 in the morning in this bed, sharing fucking earphones, listening to R. Kelly's Trapped in the Closet. And I don't even, it's so absurd and bad and terrible. And I just remember him trying to, like, I don't know if he thought it was good, and then he realized how bad it was because I'm me, and explained all the reasons it was bad in great detail as we listened to it. I don't know if it's that, or if he already knew it was bad and was just trolling me.
Just trying to hurt you?
And was just trolling. I don't know. To this day, I don't know what the answer to that is. But all I remember is it gets to the line where he's like, oh my God, it's a midget. And like, it's like there's a midget in the closet for some reason. This is part of R. Kelly's story. Do you know about this?
I am familiar.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a whole thing where he's trapped in this closet trying to have sex with someone. It's so bad. It's so ridiculous.
Like you do.
It's so ridiculous. And I just remember hearing like, oh my God, it's a midget. And we both just laughed so hard that we like fell asleep and didn't finish the rest of it.
Wow.
So that
laughed yourself to sleep.
Yeah, that was like a first like tournament memory that was pretty great.
That's pretty sweet.
Tocoka's like 3 hours from here, from St. Louis or St. Charles proper. So that was like very early Brawl Days. That would have been early. That might have been 2009. Like that was like hell early. So yeah, there were a couple of those Cahokia tournaments that were fun. I went to a max out and I beat a guy. I don't remember his name, but people told me he was like good or something, and he wasn't.
Who did he play?
Cammy,
so I can call him out.
Cammy on a pad. He was a burly, bearded white man with a baseball hat.
Then I don't know.
He was very salty, and I actually credit this man whose name I don't remember. I credit him I credit him a lot for the birth of my Street Fighter 4 persona of fuck you. Because I did a bunch of hard kick slashes, as I do, to see it. So Oni has a move that goes through to the other side. He flies through you and he hits you on the back. It's like a grounded cross up, right? And it's very, it's a cross through. It's a very unsafe move if you block it. He's easily punishable by big damage, but if you don't block it, he gets a knockdown and he can like mix you up with it. And so as I often do, I just did like 4 in a row just to be like, let's see if you
come on, block it.
Let's see if you can block. Let's see if you can block this. I want to know if you know how to play. And so I did like 4 in a row, and he goes, and he died. And in between, this is round 1. In between rounds, like while it's loading the next round 2, he like leans in like aggressively. And he's like, now that I know that's all you're going to fucking do, that I'm just going to block it and you can't do that anymore, right? And I just smiled and did 8 more cross-up slashes.
So he knew, but you didn't know.
so he was trying to psych me out, and I was like, "Oh, is that how it is? Let's see if you're really about that." And I just did it again a million times, and then
fucking lie.
And I did it a million, and then he finally like after I think I did like 4. And then I did like 4 front cross up slashes, and he like got so like, he just left the room. Like he didn't say anything to me. He just left. He was so mad, and it was just like he was so determined to tell everyone around him like that I was a scrub or whatever, and everyone was just like, "Oh man, that Oni's pretty good." Like So I got I went to 2 max outs. I don't know what place I got at that max out. Wait, maybe it wasn't 2. I know I got 3rd at a max out. I got like 3rd or 4th, and I lost to Peaceful, which I took great shame to because I never lost to him ever, and he played like totally differently in the big tournament than he normally plays. I don't know if he'd been practicing or what.
He gets better the more people that enter.
And Peaceful lost to a Seth player who I had beaten. And I was just like, Peaceful, I would have gotten 2nd in this tournament.
If it hadn't been for you.
You son of a bitch. Anyway, the max out tournaments in KC were really good. Those were some of the earlier ones that I went to. One of the other fun memories I had, which is why I'm bringing this up after I talk about the Brawl stuff, because it's related to you talking about the same tournament, but it's also related to my Smash experience. Because there was this guy named Affinity. Do you know Affinity? He played Marvel.
Yes, he did play Marvel. Does he have the hat? Is he the guy with the hat? I think I'm right. I'm
sure he's worn a hat, but I don't know him as a hat person.
I think he plays Trish.
He's a tall, curly-haired, olive-skinned, vaguely white Greek Italian human.
I think I'm right.
He's also very he's from a very well-off family. I stayed at his house at a tournament once.
Affinity or Alinity? Wait, no, it's got to be Affinity.
Not Alinity. No, it's Affinity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he played. He's a cool dude. He housed us. One of the first out-of-state tournaments I went to. Ooh, shit. Was his thing the first out-of-state tournament that I went to? He housed us in. Was he from Wisconsin or Iowa?
I want to say Iowa.
No. He's from Wichita.
Is it Wisconsin?
Wichita, Kansas.
Kansas. Yeah. Okay.
He housed us at one of the first tournaments I went to, and I was really pissed because the tournament ran super duper overtime till like 2:00 in the morning, and we had to leave. We had to leave because his parents were so lame that they were that parent who said, "If you get home at 2:01, I will lock the door and not let you inside, and you'll have to sleep on the street, and you'll be in trouble tomorrow."
Like, and then you'll die. Yeah.
What the fuck is that? That's so fucking. What is that? That's
stupid. Cruel.
It's so stupid. Fuck man. Rich people. Anyway, that pissed me off. But he was a very nice man, and I have nothing but good things to say about him. He's an extremely nice person. He's indirectly responsible for me getting into the Brawl back room back in the day. He got in before me, knew I was a cool person who knew things. I think he kind of vouched for me. Really cool dude. But I was really mad that first tournament because his parents were fucking assholes. But anyway, point being, I knew him from Brawl. He was a Meta Knight player. And he was one of the early good Midwest players. Not like top 5, but probably top 15 in the Midwest early on with Meta Knight. And he like taught me some things, but was more importantly a nice, cool person who was also good, which early on when I didn't know what the hell was going on because I had never really played competitively, I went there again with my roommate, Seth. He played some stuff with me early on. And so we met all the different Wichita players. Zeton, who is this, oh God, I could do a whole podcast about Zeton. He's like Zeton is like if a hobo walked in off of the train tracks and had a GameCube controller and started spouting weird cosmic like world knowledge that some of it was the most genius shit you've ever heard in your life, and some of it just made no sense and was insane, and you weren't sure whether he was joking or he was serious, or whether he was on drugs or not, or whether he was actually a celestial being. And then he
sounds like a celestial being.
And then he played Fox. Who was so bad in Brawl. He was like, okay, Fox was a high tier character who got fucked by bullshit in Brawl. If the bullshit didn't exist, Fox would have been like top 15. But Fox ate every bit of bullshit that there was in the game. There were characters who could only chain grab certain characters, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like one character could chain grab heavyweights, one character could chain grab lightweights. Everyone could chain grab Fox. He was just in this middle perfect sweet spot.
It was sad.
There was this thing, Pikachu could do this 0 to death on Fox where he just did down throw over and over and over again mid-stage and then just like up smash him and killed him. And there's this like epic match where Zeton fought Anther, who is the guy who owns Anther's Ladder, if you know about the online Smash play. He's from Michigan. He's a Pikachu. He was very good at Brawl. This is how old I am. This is how rooted I am.
You're very old, yeah.
All the guy
just getting older.
The guy who runs Anther's Ladder is a guy who went to Cahokia with me and got drunk.
You are famous.
Well, no, I wasn't then. I just am old and knew
but
people.
That's the origin story.
So Zeton versus Anther at Cahokia in like 2009 when everyone was drunk. Pikachu versus Fox is like a 95 0.5 matchup. Like, or whatever, like 99.5, 99.5, 0.5. Like, it's insane. And Zeton almost beat Anther, who was like the second best Pikachu in the world during Brawl. And there was this moment, game 1, where Anther's fighting Zeton, and Zeton is insane. Fox is this just not good character. He's so bad, but also has like weird things. Zeton was doing like frame traps when people didn't know, frame traps and hit confirms, when people didn't know what that was because it was Smash and no one had played fighting games. Zeton knew like how to do hit confirms. He would hit you with shit and you'd be like, oh my God, this is like a 50-50 thing. His Fox was like, I will never experience another human being that is like Zeton in my life. I will never experience it. Like I literally like I would say like Zeton doesn't carpool. Zeton just rides a train to the tournament
and appears.
He gets off at the nearest stop and he just fucking thinks about Fox as he walks through the rain and shows up at the tournament. He hasn't showered in days, but he's ready to play Fox and destroy you because the only thing he cares about is obliterating you with Fox in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Like, he was insane. So he fights Anther, and game 1, everyone's like, oh, this is gonna be such a like shit show. You know, is he gonna do the chain grab? Is he gonna respect him and not do the chain grab? And then it was like, oh my God, he's not doing the chain grab. He's like respecting him or something. And like, and Zeton, it's this crazy match, and Zeton wins like game 1, I'm pretty sure. And there's this like hush over the crowd because Anther is amazing. Anther is from Michigan, and Michigan is the best place in the Midwest. And we all only go to Midwest tournaments because we're poor and young and don't know how to do anything. And Michigan is crazy. Michigan is where Lane is from, and Lane is the best ice climber, and all these different, and oh my God. And everyone's just like, what just happened? Oh my God. And nobody knows what's going to happen. Everybody's just sitting here in this church and everyone's watching this match. And Zeton wins it. Zeton doesn't say anything. And Anther just like pauses and he looks at his controller and he just like doesn't say anything. He looks down and he collects his thoughts. And then he lifts his head up and he laughs. And he's like, well, that's the best Fox I've ever played. And everyone's like, ah, Zeton! Ah! Anyway, Anther chain grabbed him to death and won the set.
They can't all be winners.
But
you did describe it as a 99.5.
No, it is literally that bad.
Unwinnable.
It is an unwinnable matchup. But like, yeah, so he gave him like a respect game. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, oh my God. And it's still bad without the chain grab. Like the chain grab just makes it that much worse. So anyway, Zeton is there he's from Wichita. Affinity's from Wichita. And I know Affinity because he plays Brawl, and he's one of the first people that kind of goes out of his way to talk to me and be like, hey, what's up, MetalMusicMan? Let's play some friendlies. Let's play doubles. Like, he was a good player who was cool and nice and fun. And he invited people to his house and housed them. And it was super nice. Anyway, I knew him, and I hadn't played Smash in a while because Brawl died as it deserved to. And I went to Kansas not really knowing anything about anything, and two things happened when I went to max out at Kansas. The first thing is that I found out that Endgamer was good, which was crazy. Endgamer was in Joker's basement. Endgamer is from Iowa. Endgamer was part of Joker's crew. Endgamer, Blank Mauser, Joker, a couple of those guys. And he was like never good. He was just the generic Yoshi player at Brawl. And then and people were like, Endgamer's so good. And I was like, what? What are you fucking, what? I mean, he's very nice. I like, his name's Blake. I like Blake a lot. He's a nice man. But I'm like, Blake's not good. What are you talking about? And then I watched him play and I was like,
and then he tore up.
I was like, Blake, what the fuck? Like, you're actually good at this game. So that was the thing. But then also, Rex had to fight Affinity. Okay. And
Rex being
our Rex from St. Louis, old Rex, not new Rex if you're in new STL town, but old original Rex.
For those of you following along, he used to run Street Fighter and Marvel. He was just the king.
Rex
There's nothing you could do.
I think if you had to pick a single king of St. Louis, it's definitely Rex.
Undeniably Rex.
It's Rex. It's 100% Rex. Historically, the king of St. Louis fighting games is Rex. Yeah. Yep. Who I went to high school with, by the way. I don't know if you ever knew that.
Yeah, isn't he younger than you?
Yeah, he's a year or two younger than me. We had a couple.
Wild.
We had a couple crossover classes.
Weird.
So I had a couple classes with him. I didn't really know him that well. I knew him and his brother, and we would chat, but we didn't ever hang out. And then years later, I was like, I know this dude. And then I was like, oh my God, he's really fucking good. I had no idea. Yeah. So anyway, Rex is talking to me because I know Rex at this point at Max Out. And he's like, oh, I got to fight Affinity. And I was like, Affinity? And I was like, tall, curly haired, questionably olive skinned man who's very nice. And he was like, yeah, that guy. And I was like, yo, that guy's a Brawl player. And he's like, what are you talking about? No, he's not. And that was when everybody didn't know. They didn't really know. I mean, they knew, I think, that I had played Smash, but they didn't really know.
Closeted Brawl player.
Didn't know that anybody ever played Smash. And they were like, no, he's a fucking Trish. I'm like, no, that dude is a Meta Knight player. And so I was talking to Rex about it. The day before he had to play him, because it was they were in top whatever.
Oh yeah, and then the next
not the day before, but not the
day
before, but it was time
before the break.
It was time before, yeah.
I think they cut us loose to eat.
And we were eating, and that's what happened. And so I'm talking to Rex, and I'm like, all right, I don't know shit about Marvel. I don't know anything about anything. But I was like, let me tell you everything I know about the way this dude plays. And I was like, the way he plays is just the most optimal way you can play. He's going to do the best option,
the right thing
in every scenario. And Rex is usually pretty soft spoken, but sometimes he gets a little bit hype and he jumps in. And he had been the whole day he had been not saying anything. And I said that, and he jumps in, and he's like, yeah, that's exactly what he does. He just does the same thing every time and thinks it's going to work or whatever. And I know I'm going to beat him because he does that because of what we're talking about. And he goes, and Rex goes, he's like, why does he do that? And I go, I'll tell you why. It's because he's a Meta Knight player. because
you don't have to do anything else.
Because if you do that with Meta Knight, you win the game. And Rex was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense, MetalMusicMan. So anyway, that was that was my first so while we're going over firsts, that was my first double overlap tournament was whatever max out I went to where there were like a couple people I knew from Smash, and then the STL people from the STLFGC, they like learned I knew things about Smash and kind of knew people even though they thought I was new, but like they realized I had been around. So that was another a good first one for me. So tournaments.
Right. There's so much fucking fun. Yeah. I was gonna say I wanted to talk about that the Evo that you and I had both gone to. It's the only Evo I'd been to.
Still?
Yeah. I didn't go this year.
You gotta go to more Evos, bro. Can we go to Evo, please, when it opens back up? You, me, Pharaoh?
Sure.
Hell yeah. All right.
Yeah, I would have been down to do that this year.
Maybe throw a Hylian in there if we get extra.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But that was my dad promised me for like my high school graduation, which was in 2008, that he was going to take me to Evo sometime. In like 2015 was the year that we got around to doing it.
Okay.
And so he took me to Vegas, and you,
wait, But you had just graduated high school
in 2008.
Oh, okay. That was just when you. Okay, I was like, wait a minute. How fucking
That's when he said he was going to.
Okay. Oh, Jesus. No. Okay.
Yeah.
I graduated so we saw you on the plane. We saw you on the plane.
Yeah. You met him on the plane. That was hilarious. What a great time.
It was funny because I will remind you and our viewers. I don't think we've talked about this in front of the viewers. So I had thought we mentioned at the top of the hour that Lex is, of mixed racial things. Descent. So I had assumed. I did not this entire time. I did not know Lex super well, but I knew him well enough to know that he was a nice man who I thought was cool and played Honda, and we had some discussions. Sure. I did not know Lex was biracial. I thought Lex was like Greek or very Italian or maybe Egyptian. Like maybe just straight up Egyptian. You do look kind of like, if you look at Noodles is Egyptian in the St. Louis mass community. I feel like your features your feature set is kind of similar. So I just thought you were one of those. I didn't really care. But then we're sitting on the plane and there's this like just old black dude sitting next to you. And I just thought it was a guy in the chair.
Who's that old black guy?
And then we were like talking. I was like, "Oh, what's up, Lex? Fighting games." I'm like talking about fighting games, and then this guy is like kind of chiming in every now and then, you know. and I'm like, what a cool old black guy that knows about like I think I said like, "Oh, you're going to Evo too," or something, and you were like, "This is my dad," and I was like, "And okay, this is how Egyptian, Greek, Italian I thought you were." When you said
brown,
you said this is my dad, my thought was immediately like, "Oh shit, Lex is adopted."
Does he know?
That was my first thought. I was like, "Oh, how cool! Lex is adopted. What a cool dad." So anyway, you are very ambiguous. You are the most ambiguous person of all time. Yes.
Okay. So, this has provided a new context and color to the interaction. I tend to hang on to words and phrases that people say.
Okay.
Right? So like,
I'm so
like
scared.
My dad, no. My dad like walked off and it was just like you and me, or like maybe it was after the fact. And I was like, "Yeah, that's my dad." And you were like, "Yeah, I see where you get your astuteness from." And
well, okay. I know why I said that. No,
I do.
That is bullshit. That is bullshit. But also, he was like also in like a tie or something, right? Like, or he had like a nice shirt. Or I feel like
he had a shirt on.
I feel like you both had like a button-up shirt and not a t-shirt. Yeah. And you were a lot more. I think you did have more of a button-up shirt tie aesthetic. You still have it. You still do it. In tournaments.
I do it. Yeah,
that is still your thing. Yeah. But I think you've become a more t-shirted entity recently.
Yes, I'm currently
than you were at that time. But also, that was literally the only thing that I saw in common. Like, which is, I'm sure why I said that. I was like, "Oh yeah, they're both wearing dress shirts." Like genetics are wild. Holy shit!
Lord knows I couldn't get my melanin.
dude.
Okay, to be fair, I am the ambiguously brown olive, like a deep olive color.
Yeah.
And my dad is like black as
your
pitch.
dad is a black dude.
Yeah.
Your dad is your dad is just a black
black.
dude. You are not a black dude. I'm sorry. Like I look at you. Like,
I am black, but I'm not.
You are. Yeah. But visually, like when I see you, like I said, like I had never. It wasn't a necessary thing for me to ask, so I was like, it
didn't come up in conversation.
He seems vaguely, brown, like not like I don't know, like, and yeah, never, and again, even in that moment when you were like, "This is my father," my brain was like, "Lex is adopted. Lex is an Egyptian Greek man who was adopted by a wonderful, astute black man." It probably took me another 6 months to realize you were biracial. I'm dead serious. It probably took me. I don't even know. It might have been a year before I realized you were biracial.
After seeing my black ass dad.
Yeah, because you didn't have your mom there. Like if your dad and your mom were there, I might have been like, oh, okay. But it was just your dad, so I was like, oh, what a nice adopted father Lex has. Like that's oh my god, yeah. So anyway, that was one of our first out of the STL FGC interactions. Yeah, and
that's when I got your number.
We chatted on the plane. Yeah, it was a good time. Oh god, there has been so much. Thank you, FGC. There has been so much more race relations in this podcast than I expected.
It really has.
But that's the FGC, baby.
That's the glory of the FGC. Yeah, because it doesn't matter if you're black or white, as long as you can hold a controller, and even if you can't.
Yeah, man. Do some combos or try to do some combos. Nobody gives a fuck.
Get up there. Hold a controller.
It's a beautiful thing.
Controller.
It's a beautiful thing. It really is. Oh my god. All right. We're coming up on a little over an hour. I don't want to. Are we? We've gotten most things. We can adjourn for another one. I don't want to go for another 2 hour podcast.
That's fine. Yeah, right. That's okay. That's okay.
Oh man, this has been such a fun trip. I struggle because like I want to have podcasts that are like vaguely relevant, but it's also just so much damn fun to go back and about shit that no one cares about. Machine. It's so much fun. All right. Well, I have been MetalMusicMan.
And I've been Professor Lex.
And we will catch you guys next time on this cool podcast. Goodbye.
See ya.